Have you ever had the feeling that you are being watched? Not by a person, not by a camera, but by something bigger. Something that sees you right now. At this very moment, as you sit there watching this video. What if I told you that the universe doesn't just know you exist, but that it is aware of every single action you make, every breath, every thought, every choice? Sounds impossible, right? I mean, how could the physical universe, a vast empty expanse of rocks, gas, and radiation, possibly know anything? It doesn't have a brain, it doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have consciousness, or does it? For the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through something that completely changed how I see reality, and by the end of this video, you're going to have to ask yourself a deeply unsettling question. If the universe is aware, then what does it want with me? Stay with me, because the answer is not what you think. Let me start with something personal. I'm not a philosopher sitting in the armchair, I'm a practical yogi. For over 15 years, I've been doing something that most people have never even tried. I've been exploring consciousness from the inside out. Through deep meditation, I've experienced things that don't fit into materialistic worldview, and today I want to share what I've learned. But first, we have to answer a fundamental question. What even is consciousness? Here's a simple test. Right now I'm talking to you, I'm making choices about what to say, how to say, when to pause. That requires awareness. That requires consciousness. If I didn't have consciousness, I'd be lying dead on the floor. Simple, right? So here's the logic. Anything that moves, acts, or creates is expressing consciousness. Every living being has it. You have it. I have it. Even a dog has it. But here's where it gets very interesting. And this is where most people start asking questions. Where did this consciousness come from? Think about it. 8 billion humans, countless species of plants and animals, all of them carrying this inner awareness, and yet no source? That would be like finding billions of rivers but no ocean, billions of branches but no root. It's illogical. Now some of you might be thinking, but what about artificial intelligence? Robots can do things too. Elon Musk even talks about AI becoming conscious. Look, I respect Elon Musk, okay? The man is a brilliant dreamer and a genius business mind. But he's not a scientist in the traditional sense, and he's definitely not a yogi, I can say that with confidence. The difference between AI and you is simple. You have free will, you have passion, you have inspiration, you have the ability to discover things, not just process them. AI follows patterns, you create them. So if consciousness exists inside you, and it clearly does, it must have come from somewhere. It must have a source, a root, a supreme consciousness that permeates the entire universe, and this is where physics completely fails. Now let me take you to the weird world of quantum mechanics. Physicists have been scratching their head for almost over a century over something called the double-slit experiment, and trust me, what they found will blow your mind. Here's what happens. When scientists shoot electrons through 2 slits without observing them, the electrons behave like waves, spreading out, interfering with each other, acting like they're everywhere at once. But the moment the scientists measure which slit the electron goes through, it suddenly acts like a solid particle, as if it knows it's being watched. And it gets even weirder. Quantum entanglement, 2 particles become linked. You measure one and the other, no matter how far away, instantly shows the opposite spin. Not a fraction of a second later. Instantly, even if they are light years apart. Now here's the question that keeps physicists up at night. How does the second particle know? No information can travel faster than light. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, and to this day, no physicists have been able to explain it, because they are looking in the wrong place. Physics, by its very definition, studies physical matter. Things you can see, touch, or measure with instruments. But consciousness isn't physical, it's metaphysical. It's beyond the reach of any machine. But here's the thing, the fact that electrons follow consistent laws over and over again proves that something is watching them. If the universe had no consciousness, electrons wouldn't follow rules consistently. Your phone wouldn't work, your laptop would be a brick. The double-slit experiment, quantum entanglement, the delayed choice experiment, they all point to the uncomfortable truth. Something, somewhere is observing the state of every single electron in existence. And if the universe can watch an electron, a tiny invisible speck of energy, then why in the world would it not be watching you? Now here's where I need to clear up a massive misunderstanding. When you hear the word yoga today, what comes to your mind? Contorting your body, breathing exercises, getting fit? That's not yoga. That's a tiny fragment of yoga, a physical byproduct that got commercialized and sold to the West. True yoga, the real thing, means something far deeper. The word yoga literally translates to join or to unify. Unify what? Your individual soul with the supreme soul, your tiny little consciousness with the universal consciousness. For thousands of years, yogis have been studying muscles and bones. They've been studying the unseen, the dimension that exists beyond physical eyes, the dimension where God or universal consciousness resides. And here's the part that will shock you. True yogis have developed techniques to actually tap into this universal consciousness, not through faith, not through blind belief, through direct perception. They don't see God with their physical eyes, they perceive it in a completely different way, a way that is just as real, just as verifiable as anything you see with your eyes. This is where yogis conflict with pure physicists, because physicists believe only the physical world is real, and we also conflict with religious fanatics, not just with the physicists, because the religious fanatics believe in unscientific myths like a god sitting on a throne somewhere in the clouds. Our approach is purely scientific. It just goes beyond physics, because physics isn't the only way to know truth. And since yogis have directly perceived universal consciousness, what common language calls God, we know with certainty. The universe is alert. The universe is aware. The universe is watching. So let's bring it all together. I opened this video with a question. Does the universe know you exist? And now you have your answer. From the yogic perspective, through direct experience, through thousands of years of inner exploration, the answer is a resounding yes. But let me be absolutely clear about what this means and why you don't feel it. The supreme soul, the universal consciousness, the source of all existence, is all-knowing, it is all-seeing, it is omnipresent and omniscient. It knows everything about you, every action, every thought, every intention. It has always been watching you, always. Then why don't you feel it? Why does it seem like the universe is indifferent to your existence? Here's the answer, and this is the most important part. Your soul, that tiny spark of awareness inside you, is unaware right now, not because it's incapable of knowing, but because it is trapped. Let me explain. Your soul is connected to your mind, and your mind is constantly rushing outwards towards the senses, towards the outside world, towards everything except the source. Your eyes are looking outwards, your ears are listening outwards, your mind is chasing sensations, thoughts, desires, all of it outside. That's why you see the outside world so clearly, that's why it seems so real, that's why your job, your relationships, your problems, your pleasures, all of it feels like the only reality. You have created a distance, not God, not universe, you have turned your attention away from the source and towards the surface, and in doing so, you've forgotten who you really are. But here's the thing. Just because you've turned away doesn't mean the universe has turned away from you. The Supreme Soul is still watching, still knowing, still seeing every single thing you do. Even when you are not looking back, the connection was never broken on the God side. It was only broken on yours. And that's where yoga comes in. True yoga, not the physical exercise, but the real thing is the process of turning your attention back inwards, pulling your mind away from the senses, redirecting your consciousness towards its source. When you do that, when you quiet the mind, go within, something incredible happens. You begin to perceive what was always there. You realize that the universe has been watching you this entire time. You just couldn't see it because you were looking in the wrong direction. So is the thumbnail of this video correct? Yes. Is the title correct? Yes. The universe sees you. The universe knows you. The universe is aware of your existence and everything about you. It's not a metaphor. It's not poetry. It's the deepest truth there is. The Supreme Soul never took its eyes off you. You just forgot to look back. But now you know, and knowing changes everything. Thank you very much for watching.